Welcome back to the channel. I'm here with my guest, TJ Tooley, friend of the channel, friend of mine, creative genius, creative writer, and then, so here's what happened. So, one night I'm on Twitter, doing Twitter things, and then I see that the XFL is coming out with uniforms, and the next day when we're at work, you mentioned that you'd like to do a video with me about them. And I didn't see your message until the next day, but without even seeing it, I was like, oh, they released the uniforms. So we got to do a video about this. And I can't do a video about uniforms and logos and stuff like that without my boy TJ here. So what we're going to do in this video is kind of recap and look at the XFL East team logos and their uniforms. So TJ, I think we're going to start off with the New York Guardians, I believe is their name. So give me your thoughts about the Guardians.
Well, first off, it's great to be back, and I'm very happy to be doing this segment with you. Love uniforms and stuff. The Beastern Conference, as I'm going to dub it, is pretty strong looking, I'd say. Starting with the Guardians, I got that black and red color scheme. Now, I'm a sucker for, primarily black with a little red as an accent color. Go Mavs. But I like the logo and the concept behind it, them being the gargoyle statues, the guardians of the city, and this being kind of the physical embodiment of that. I think that's a really cool concept that really hasn't been explored yet, and I'm excited to see where they go with it.
Yeah, I like the logo, and I like how the logo has been transitioned to the helmet. So they have the Guardian with, as you said, the kind of gargoyle type thing with the face of the animal there, and then the teeth being red, so very ominous, very aggressive. So with the uniform, they obviously went with the primarily black with a little red accent with the white stripe here. So the helmet, I really dig the helmet, and kind of because I'm a big on the helmet and having like the logo be kind of big on there, but not like obscenely big, like have it work well within the design of the helmet. And then we get into the uniform, so you have like the shoulder pads there, got the stripes going on the shoulder, the logos on either side, and then we have the road. Now I don't remember off top, but I think they're doing the same thing that the poor Alliance of American Football did. Rip. I think they're going with like the one shell, like one helmet, and then change the jerseys for home and away. So, and I really like, because it's not a straight just white jersey, it's like a gray. So I feel like that really works well because the gray kind of matches with the logo, like with the main part of the logo. So TJ, what do you think, as you see more of the home and away jersey?
I love the black as the primary look. I think that's really strong, bold. Like you said, this road uniform being more of a gray instead of a white is really cool because, like you said, it does look like more like the stone, like the gargoyle statues that they're trying to evoke. The red really does pop in a way with those thick stripes on the shoulders and thick stripes down the leg. And honestly, even the XFL logo pops off of it a really nice way. I think it's a pretty good look. And if I can pat myself on the back, I'd say that we compare New York to Gotham City. I'd say this isn't too far off from a certain Gotham City, kind of branding that we did.
Moving on to the DC Defenders. Now, the DC Defenders, I like their logo. It's not overly complicated, but it's really got the two lightning bolts kind of crossing. You have the stars there, being the capital of the country, Washington, D.C. Got the Defenders there. They're going with a very just red and white scheme. So how does the DC Defenders uniform work for you?
I'll be honest, I'm really torn on this one. The logo is fine. It looks kind of weird on the helmets. I do like that it's an X, kind of getting into the XFL branding. The one color, the white on red, it looks really sharp. The helmet with the white face mask. It's a kind of simple, classic look. The lightning bolts on the, it works. I get what they're doing with the logo, with it kind of being like DC is kind of the intersection of like 3 different major states and areas, and I get it. I want to like it more, but I don't know. Something about it just feels a little off to me.
I don't know. Like, I think now, I don't like it as much as the Guardians, but I think it's pretty clean. So I always going to appreciate the cleanliness of it, you know. And you got the DC right in there, so I'm appreciative. I'm always appreciative of like hiding that DC and hiding stuff in there like that. And like the Guardians, I feel like the XFL logo works really well with that. Like, I like when the logo that's having to be attached that's not necessarily the team's works within the team's look, you know, saying it's almost as if, you know, that was planned. Like, I wish the NBA would do something, you know, where all the corporate sponsors would do things that are planned with the team, you know. But anyway, so moving on. Yeah, so I like it, but I see now the road. I can definitely say that I like the road version of theirs better than their home. Maybe would you think you would like the home version of that better if it were like the white pants with the reds?
I think that's something they should definitely experiment with. I do like the idea of all red and all white, but I don't know if that should be their primary look. Switching up the pants maybe for a game on the road and at home could make a big difference for everybody. But I agree. I like the white look a lot. The white jerseys, the red just really stands out, and it's a really clean look. And I'd say for me, it's cleaner than the red, and it just looks pretty strong.
Yeah, when you do white jerseys right, white jersey, white pants, when you do that right, it's really nice to see. A part of me would like to see, I know they can't do this, but a part of me would like to see if the white helmet with all that white there with the red logo. I'm just saying, they don't have to. I'm just saying. So moving on to the St. Louis Battlehawks. So I think we've hit the first jersey that it's okay. So let's start with the helmet first. The helmet, it's interesting. It's interesting because you have the wings on either side, and then you have like the sword going through there. And I do like this because I remember, was it Orlando that had like just nothing there, and I was like, missed opportunity because they had it. But so I like the execution of this here. I just think it doesn't give me the feeling that the other two the other two uniforms gave me. But I think it's a solid look for what they're going for. It's funny that I would like to see them try an all blue, like with a blue pant with the blue, and just see how that works. But I'm not saying I hate it, but it doesn't give me the feeling that the other two gave me. What are your thoughts on this?
I do applaud the effort. I think it's cool that they tried to do something a little more unique, a little bit more, dare I say, on brand for what the XFL used to have been. I do like the wings on the helmet. I think it looks cool, and the idea of the sword as the center stripe decal is a really cool idea. I love the color blue they're choosing to use, and it's more of a quote-unquote traditional football uniform look, but also kind of brought into a modern era. Again, I have to applaud the XFL branding. You know, they're incorporating their logos, you know, into the uniforms and actually customizing it to look good on said uniforms. Like, I would love to like some of the NBA stuff, but I just can't because there's no love there. Or maybe it's all love.
So now the road uniforms of the Battlehawks I love a lot more than the home. I love the blue pants matching the helmet. Just the execution of the helmet, like you said, like I love like the wings and just how that's executed, because they're utilizing the logo in the way that it can be. So it's kind of like they're allowing themselves to get as creative as possible with it, and I definitely appreciate that.
I think it's one of the best road looks that we've seen so far. The blue pants are great. The blue helmet and all that matching looks great. The white jersey really works. And the gray as an accent, as the outline of the numbers. Normally, I'm not always a fan of outline on numbers and names, but in this case I think it actually works, and bringing out that gray that's also in the logo I think is a really smart idea.
The Vipers, the Tampa Bay Vipers. Now, when the logos first were introduced, this Vipers logo, I wasn't crazy about it because it just it looked a little too generic for me. Like, it looked kind of like a stock logo that you would see in like a football game when you create your own team and stuff like that. So, but the uniform, I think the uniform's fire. Like, I really enjoy this, and it's definitely, you know, when you're working with green and gold, and especially multiple types of green and gold, there's a lot of ways this could go wrong, but I like the energy. I just love it's gonna pop when it's on television.
First of all, thank you whoever designed this for not throwing in white for no reason. Second, this is one of the strongest looks that they debuted, possibly the strongest. The way that the dark green and the light green kind of work well together, and that the yellow still finds a way to pop. I agree with you. When they released just the logos, I wasn't really married to it. It did kind of feel like maybe a stock logo, like you said, for when you create a team, or maybe when you move an NBA team and then they just keep it for some years. But it's just one of those things that this uniform is going to look great. It could be the face of the league if the team is any good at all. And the XFL logo continuing to look good on these kits.
The road uniforms, which I don't think I like the road uniforms quite as much as I like the home, but I think they're still sharp, and I think they complement the home jersey well. What do you think of the road looks of the right?
Unfortunately, I'm not as in love with it, and I think the problem they run into is the one shell helmet, because they could do more with that lighter neon green in the uniform, but it wouldn't look as good with the white, and so they had to use the darker green, and so it just looks like a helmet from a different uniform. The uniform by itself looks really good, but if you look at the shoulders, especially on the road uniforms, they have that little sliver of yellow that I don't think they needed, especially if you're going to outline the numbers in lighter green. If it was yellow, maybe, but again, they tried to incorporate as much of the lighter green as they could. It just unfortunate that it didn't quite work. I'm just gonna throw this out here and see what you think of it, but I would maybe like to see what the road uniform would look like if the green and white were inversed. Like, the darker green pant could make a difference for me.
That's a good call. I will wonder how that would work as well. I think that would be a good change to at least explore. So yeah, those are the XFL East teams. Overall, I think they did a pretty good job thus far. And of course, we'll be watching. You know, we hope it's, you know, more successful than the Alliance. Poor Alliance, you had so much potential, but it's the XFL now. So yeah, check back in the next video where we'll be tackling the Western Conference teams. Thank you, TJ, for being with us here. So remember, teach as you learn and inspire as you do. See you next time.